Okay, David. So we've talked about your high school years. By the way, what was the address where you and your family lived when you were in high school and junior high school?
513 Greensboro Street, Starkville, Mississippi.
Okay. Was that close to the downtown area?
Mm, well, it was fairly close. Maybe a mile from the main part of town.
Do you have a car in high school?
A what?
A car.
No.
Okay. So why did you decide to go to, was it Mississippi State?
Mm-hmm.
Why did you want to go there?
Well, it was right down the street.
Okay.
It's Starkville's the hometown of Mississippi State.
Well, I thought it might have something to do with the field of academics that you studied, but I understand. Um, so, did you live at home with your parents all 4 years?
Yes.
Okay. And what did you major in?
Dairy production.
What was your minor?
Didn't have a minor.
Okay. And let's see, you were, at that time in your life, what were you thinking that you were going to do for a career?
Mm, I probably didn't think much about career at that time in my life.
Okay. Okay. So,
I guess it was just probably understood that I would take over the farm when my father passed away, and I'd be a dairy farmer. That's why
yeah,
I studied dairy production, but that didn't come to pass.
right. Well, that's very good to know that, though. We understand that better now. Were you in a social fraternity?
I was a Kappa Sigma.
Okay. Any particular reason why you pledged with that sorority, that fraternity? I'm sorry.
Uh, they're the ones that asked me to join, and I did.
Were there any boys that you knew from high school already in there?
Uh, no, I don't think so.
Okay.
Or maybe one or two, maybe. I don't recall which ones they were now, but
Well, Kappa Sigma was a very good fraternity.
mhm.
So, is there anything from your 4 years in college that you think is relevant, or you remember anything special?
I can't think of anything special.
Okay, so you probably started taking ROTC when, your junior year or before that?
Uh, I don't remember. I think you start taking ROTC when you first get there. I believe it's in the freshman year.
Okay, and obviously that had a lot to do with your profession later on in life, but do you remember that you liked ROTC?
Yeah, it was okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. So when your senior year with your graduation coming up, what were your plans?
Well, I knew that on graduation I'd go into the military because that's what everybody that went in ROTC did when they graduated,
Mm-hmm.
and so I knew I'd be going into the service.
What year did you finish college?
1955.
Okay, so then, and you check me if I'm wrong on this, but we weren't involved in Vietnam yet.
No, that was the Korean
That was the
Korean War
Korean.
was going on then.
Right. So, where were you the first year when you enlisted? I think you told me that as a second lieutenant.
Second lieutenant. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and where did you go for boot camp?
Fort Hood, Texas.
How'd you like that?
Good place.
Good, good. How long were you there?
I was there for the duration of my 2 years.
Okay, and other than boot camp, what did you do there?
Oh well, we went to we you trained to go overseas, but I didn't go overseas because I was a sole surviving son, and at that point in time, my brother was killed in World War II. So and I was the sole surviving son, and they didn't send sole surviving sons overseas. So I went to Fort Hood, Texas, and I stayed there.
Okay, now that's very, very useful information. I didn't realize that, but I understand now that in that era, when young men were graduating from college, then they could be drafted and could have to go to North Korea.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I did not know that your older brother had died in World War II.
Mm-hmm.
I want to just talk about that for just a moment and then get back to your story. But how was he killed?
He was a prisoner of war for many years, you know, 2 or 3 years before, and the Japanese were transporting the prisoners on an unmarked Japanese ship for some reason, and the ship was bombed, and everybody on the ship was killed.
Oh, that's very sad. Uh, I know that must have been terrible for your mother and your father.
Very much so.
And we have seen that picture of the four of you together, and your older brother was. I think he might have had a military uniform on in that picture. So I know that your parents were proud as they could be of him.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how he was captured?
No, I don't.
Okay, you were still fairly young at that.
Oh yeah, I was just a kid when he went overseas.
Yeah.
Born in '34, and he left when Pearl Harbor hit in 1940.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. All right. So then you were there at Fort Hood for 4 years, and then what happened?
Mm.
I mean, I think that ended your military career, didn't
Yeah,
it?
I got out of the service and came back to Starkville, Mississippi. Mm-hmm.
And what did you do when you came back to work?
Well, when I came back, I started selling insurance for Farm Bureau.
All right, and why did you do that? Why did you pick insurance?
Well, actually, I didn't. Well, let's back up a little bit. When I first came back from overseas, I went into the hatching egg business. On our farm, we built some chicken houses, and I had about 2,000 laying hens, and we shipped hatching eggs to the place where they hatch them for baby chicks for the broiler industry.
So this would have been your father's dairy farm where he had started raising chickens also.
That's right. It was a portion of the farm, yeah.
How many chicken houses did he have?
2.
How did you like loading up chickens?
Well, it was okay.
Yeah. Okay. So he got paid then for raising the chickens, but he wasn't involved in.
But he wasn't involved in any of that. This was my business was the chicken thing. Yeah.
Oh, and how did that come about then?
Oh, well, I just decided that's what I wanted to do. I don't remember the details of how it all happened, but that's just the way we did it.
So your father had some land, and it would be on his land that he gave you to build the chicken houses.
Mm-hmm.
But you evidently had some experience raising chickens.
Well, not before that, but you know, chicken's not hard to raise. All you gotta do is feed it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that's really interesting, though.
Mm-hmm.
You were out of the Army.
Mm-hmm.
You needed something to do.
Right.
And I'm willing to bet that your father probably helped you pay for the chicken houses and the feed and everything to begin with. But then you started making a pretty good profit off of it, I imagine.
Yeah, we paid for the houses and everything, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how long did that last?
That lasted about couple of years, 55 to 57, and then I got married, and
Okay.
we moved to Columbus, Mississippi.
We're going to talk about your marriage shortly, but to get the time frame right, you came back home from college. What year was it? 50?
I graduated from college in 55, was in the Army from 55 to 57.
Okay.
And from 57, we
You started the chicken house.
chicken house business.
You had that for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And then after a couple of years with the
Married.
chickens,
Mhm.
you went to work for Farm Bureau?
Yes, after I got married.
Oh, that was after you got married. Okay, then
We moved to Columbus, Mississippi.
right. We're gonna talk about all that for now, but I mean in a minute. But for now, you were back home. You had a couple of chicken houses. You ran them for a couple of years, and then did you sell those chicken houses when you went to work for Farm Bureau?
No, the chicken houses were still on the farm, and at that point in time, my father was still farming. They had the dairy farm, so
Okay.
they were just empty empty chicken houses on the farm.
Okay. Is there anything you want to add about that time of your life before we move on to Anne?
Can't think of anything.
Okay. Just hang on a sec.